my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road. I'm headed to LA, I'm headed on my way, I'm headed on my way to LA, headed on my way soon.
Couple thousand miles, throw it on the dash. Shit, 10,000 hours, can't let them pass. Yeah, well, I was putting time in, you was pulled up wildin'. You always had shit to say, now when I see you it's silence. Thought I have a Grammy by 25. Commas after commas next to dollar sign, yeah. To remind myself why I'm living this life. Look at all the late nights, it'll all come in due time, yeah.
Made for the fight, for the pain and the climb. Tied to the life I chose. Stay through the night, another day, not a dime. Race against time. I couldn't just lay by and wonder what I could have made mine. I'm closing on the moment, no one's gonna hold me down. I packed my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road. bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil and I'm let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal, I never lose. I'm bulletproof. Best in the game, we all know my name. Can't run now, it's too late. Got winning in my blood, in my DNA. It's destiny, it's fate. Unbreakable, unbeatable, undefeatable, I'm invincible. Unbreakable, unbeatable, undefeatable, I'm invincible. I'm bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil and I'm let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal, I never lose. I'm bulletproof.
We're not the only ones. 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 Days gone. I won't waste another one. Oh, that darkness, it won't set me back again. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Take me back to you. We're not the only ones. We're not the only ones.
off the counter. Commuting to the city, gonna take another hour. Man, I hate trading time for a way. At least I got a home and a job that pays. Faded from color, reaching to find where the wonder hides. Saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive.
You look like a child. Well, thank you very much, Johnson. I've been very lucky down here. Feeling better than I did up north.
Collars itching, faces twitching, another cup of joe and I'm fine. Come 5, I can burn a fresh dime. Lifting up the burdens, putting weight on my mind. Bet if I didn't chase that and embrace distractions, master my lack of faith and break through. Faded from color, reaching to find where the wonder hides. Saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive. I'm holding out as I fight. I feel my colors wash away. I'm finding my ground in the light of the hours I can't claim. 'Cause in time I restore my complexion and find that I left my distractions behind. In the meantime, I'll blindfold my pride and keep hold of my time like it's gold. Faded from color, reaching to find where the wonder hides. Saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive.
Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. Your life hits hard, but I hit right back. I never back down. I keep it on track. It's the same day with no problems. I keep rising from the bottom. 'Cause when the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear that sound. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now, and then I need to worry about, 'cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, 'cause I got no problems. Yes, every day was a war. Yeah, it kinda took a while. When they tell me I should stay, I just jump with a smile. Yeah, it's hard until you notice. Everybody's got their moment. When the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear the sound. Listen up. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now, and then I need to worry about, 'cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, 'cause I got no problems. 'Cause I got no problems. 'Cause I got no problems. feeling now. Have none I need to worry about, 'cause I got no problem. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now. Have none I need to worry about, 'cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, 'cause I got no problems.
If you wanna be my love, baby, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what point you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, Faceit.
Hello everybody and welcome. We are here for some ESL Challenger League in Europe. My name is Hayes. I'm joined by my distant South African brother. I'm still going to claim you here, Mr. Neokai, every opportunity I get. And we've got a matchup between two teams who are in a bit of a transitionary phase right now for different reasons. Copenhagen Wolves, they're changing some players at the moment. We've seen a couple players exiting, some new players coming in. And for Aurora, it's, well, just the entire org. And by no fault of their own, Neo.
Yeah, do you know what? Like, you got to kind of feel a little bit bad for the ex-Aurora team, because if you're Aurora, the organization, you get a chance to buy Eternal Fire, and especially current Eternal Fire too, you can't blame them. You know what I mean? Like, this is a top 5 side right now, playing very, very well, really starting to gel. So it's unfortunate for ex-Aurora. They have, tweeted saying there might be an organization in talks, and they might be getting something sorted soon, so that'd be kind of sick if they can get that fixed for them. But this is our schedule for today. Of course, we're here on the B stream with ex-Aurora taking on Copenhagen Wolves. Over on the A stream, they've got Spirit Academy taking on Rush B. That one's also a bit of a banger as well. I don't know if you've seen Hayes, the rumor about Kaisuke. I don't know if you've caught it earlier
I have,
today.
of course.
Yeah.
It's been plastered all over social media the past couple hours. Yeah,
apparently
yes, sir.
are looking at Kaisuke. So might be one of the last few games we get to see of him in the online space before, of course, he moves potentially into the big world. So both games worth checking out, of course.
I mean, I fully believe the Monacy move is going to happen. I think the Kaisuke one is probably more of a pipe dream. Yes. I think you just stick with Tesses for the major, honestly. Like, that's how I feel. Bring him in after the major if you need to. But I think that's just disrupting the team way too much. Anyway, maybe that's something we can pick up on if we do have a bit of a tech pause or something like that. Because this is an important game for both of these teams. I mean, it's a pretty deep run in the competition so far. Loser of this matchup is eliminated. Am I on the money there? Are they out of contention for the playoffs? Because it's difficult to read with the setup here with the format. So, but what I do know is that the winner of this goes into the consolidation final. So there's a lot to play for.
Yes, exactly. So winner goes to the consolidation final. It obviously is a little bit confusing in the way it works, but from my understanding, that is it, right? You lose this game, you're out, of course, with the winner of this game taking on then the loser of Spirit Academy versus Rush B is sort of how it works out. So this is the sort of lower bracket of the low seed group. So this is the last chance essentially for both of these two sides to really kind of book their spot. If they can in towards that final and win that final as well, then there's a chance, of course, they can make it in towards playoffs, which is, already starting to flesh itself out a little bit. There's a few teams starting to find their way in there. Of course, we've got our veto to kick start this. Train going to get banned. That is sad to see. However, makes a lot of sense if you're Copenhagen Wolves, a new team, probably not had too much time to prac on it. They've gone for a simple map. They've gone for a Mirage. That makes a lot of sense. Ex-Aurora going to go towards Nuke. That's always been a very good map for them. It's always been very strong and kind of part of their map pool. And then Anubis as the decider as well. So pretty standard but cool veto all in all. I think obviously all eyes are really on what level are really Copenhagen Wolves at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, the only sort of maybe small question mark I'd have for Copenhagen Wolves is why they decided to go with Mirage instead of Ancient. Mirage is just a good map for this ex-Aurora team. I mean, I just remember when they when Kenzie and Norway came together in Aurora, they were just like such a devastating duo, and Mirage was one of the maps that would just smurf on. Now, obviously, that was a long time ago, but it just has been a map in their wheelhouse for a long time. So Copenhagen Wolves probably just picking into Aurora's strength there a little bit, but I don't think it would have made a massive difference if they'd gone with Ancient instead. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the players. We've referenced the changes a couple times now for Copenhagen Wolves. Of course, they have made 2 confirmed roster changes recently, with both Andu departing the team, along with man, the names just escaped me here. Who was the other player who's just left Copenhagen Wolves? Shane, that's correct. Yeah. Yes, the Polish player as well, right? Andu and Shane, the 2 players who have departed the team, and they've brought Matios and then Quez from Trick to, playing alongside Lucky and Iceberg and some of the lads as well, was out in the wilderness for a while, got replaced by Zyphon, so he's found a new home as well.
Yeah, I think actually they're pretty good pickups as well. This Matios kid is somebody that I didn't know about at all until I got to cast his first actual game. It was when he was on trial, unannounced, nothing on social media, but it was his debut game with Copenhagen Wolves. And I'd had a couple of people tweet and say, keep an eye on this kid. He's pretty talented. And he delivered. He looked really good in that debut. And that was him, not playing in proper roles, not in proper positions, probably had only practiced the team like a few times, if I'm being honest. So now he's had a decent amount of time to work with this side and probably find a bit of form. Quez, of course, on the other side as well, is a player of a lot of experience too. He's just so used to the tier 2 grind and what it's required to be a good player in this sort of level. So I'm kind of excited to see what can really kind of come to the table here. That we should get some really good Counter-Strike, but I don't know about you. For me, though, I still lean pretty heavily in ex-Aurora. As much as their form recently has been a little worse for wear, they've just got those individuals, right? We know how good they can be. Patsy is somebody that I've always loved watching. But for me, when you look at this team, you have to look at Grix. I mean, he's had so many rumors already about him potentially, there was one of which, a rumor talking about him going to G2, apparently. Teams looking at him at that top level. And I don't blame them. He is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a big Patsy enjoyer as well. Do you know who's calling for this ex-Aurora team? Is Norway still the IGL? Because I know he was calling before Patsy joined, and Patsy was also calling at one point in his former team, if I'm not mistaken, in Parivision. I think he took over the reins as IGL after Jerry left the team. I'm just speculating, but I remember not being a huge fan of Patsy calling, because I actually just love him as a rifler. I love having him relieved of those extra responsibilities and duties and just letting him focus up on his own game. So let's see what this match has in store for us. Mirage is live. Copenhagen Wolves, it's their pick. The underdogs here. I echo your sentiments. Ex-Aurora, certainly the team I'm backing to get the job done. But there's a lot on the line, and well, they've got to show their future employers what they're made of. They've got to sell themselves here now.
They got a lot to prove to us, and I guess also to themselves a little bit, that they still kind of deserve to be at this level. But of course we are live. Mirage is where we head. This is a good map for both of these 2 sides. I think the big question is just what level we're at for Copenhagen Wolves. Instant trade. Matios showing his prowess. Chiquinho with that P250 delivering on towards Kenzie. Bomb goes down. Not a bad spot to be in. Grix got to hit a nice couple of shots here. First, gets the information, gets the find as well on towards Quez. Grix is so crisp, man. Norvi will support. And already immediately into a 3 versus 2. And they're actually just barreling in together. The right way to play it. The numbers game. One spotted in towards Firebox. And it's all down to this man now as well. Chiquinho can't isolate the fights. Grix goes huge there. 2 big kills for him. 2 big kills for Norvi. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, that retake there for the CT side lives and dies with them finding control of CT and winning those duels, because that then allows them a channel and an avenue of entry into the bomb sites itself, and then they figure out where the remaining Copenhagen Wolves players are. They can't really fall back because the bomb's planted for CT as well, so they have to stand there and fight, and the fights are won by ex-Aurora, so good work for them. And, well, you've got to imagine that they're a little bit aggrieved right now off the back of just losing their job straight up, because Eternal Fire were looking for some greener pastures and maybe some improved paychecks, which is totally understandable with the performances they put up over the past, 12, 24 months kind of thing.
Yeah.
But these guys did kind of get shafted. It was no fault of their own.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely spot on, right? They didn't really put a foot wrong, unfortunately. It was just, as an organization, when an offer like that comes to the table and you have the ability to pick up a side like that, you can't really blame them. Either way, kills are coming through. We've taken one apiece. Nothing too drastic, I guess you could say. But a bomb goes down. So again, this is not too bad for Copenhagen Wolves. Forced by, off the back of that first round pistol bomb plant, may I say. And it's given them at least something to work with here. Still, back into a 3 versus 3 and an answer. These Galils are still causing a lot of problems. Double stack over towards Tetris too. Trying to bait out the fights. Now spotted out by Patty. Can't transfer as well. And it's Matthias who gets 2 quick kills in quick succession. They give a first for Copenhagen Wolves.
Yeah, the key there was that they were able to get back to ramp and towards Tetris for the post plant. That's what made it so difficult for ex-Aurora to actually cross from bench onto the bomb site itself. They didn't have any utility to aid their cause, and Copenhagen Wolves do very well in just fighting in conjunction with each other there, just making sure that they're all peaking together at the same time and overwhelming the CTs trying to get back onto the bomb site. So the force buy is successful, and they took a lot of damage actually getting onto the site itself, so that was really well done from them.
Agreed. Yeah, pretty good game so far as well. Pretty cool what we're seeing, the level as well. And if Copenhagen Wolves can continue putting a lot of pressure on in this early part, I get something still a little spicy. Of course, it is a force-bound response for ex-Aurora, but not that much they can bring to the table, if we're being completely frank. A scout, couple of upgraded pistols, nothing all too drastic. It should be a pretty simple second, you assume, for Copenhagen Wolves. But letting around like this slip would also be quite egregious.
Yeah, force buy not nearly as convincing compared to what we saw in the previous round with what Copenhagen Wolves were able to bring to the table. And Matthias just has his bell rung, and Norway's going to go searching. He's going to find a player with his back turn, tapping away with the 5-7. I mean, I don't know, first of all, how he stays alive for so long. And because he's alive for so long, how does he not get that kill? Good awareness from Matthias to tip the scales in his team's favor. Tapeware will get the 2-man advantage. Bielani's already deep into jungle, not expected at all from Kenzie, and he'll finish off the job as well, does the pole. Copenhagen Wolves string consecutive rounds together and start to build up some lead, a bit of a distance here.
Yeah, it's looking a little disjointed, I think, so far as well for me. From Aurora, still, a little bit uncomfortable, I think, to the level that we normally have come to expect out of them. But I think also as well, Aurora, it's been a rough year. Minus obviously losing your organization, they've also just been a side who I think have lost a lot of the form. Was what, at one point I saw them as one of, if not the best side here, sort of a win tier 2. They were unstoppable for real periods, and they started to look like the next team to go into tier 1, right? And I don't know, they lost that. I honestly feel like it all came around the same time. That obviously losing Deco is huge, but Grix has been pretty good. But losing Resso in that trade that they didn't want to make really felt like it was the big hindrance on them. Either way, quick towards B, and well, that one's here. So a free sight, and a bomb will go down momentarily at a very easy position to set up a post plant.
I will say, I am quite a fan of the fact that they've decided to replace Lackey with Patsy.
Yeah.
I think Lackey was good. He was a role player. I just think you get more out of Patsy. I think you got more depth as a player. I think he offers more firepower as well, and almost an equal amount of experience, if not more. I mean, obviously he had that stint with Liquid, wasn't a successful one, but still would have learned a lot about himself and who he is as a player and what he wants in a team, right? Which are all valuable pieces of information to have to find yourself a fitting home. So I think that's also a pretty good pickup here. I just think you have a group of really stable players. Like, there's certainly not a single weak link in this ex-Aurora team. Klax is your anchor, just so reliable. As you say, Grix, I think, is kind of being molded into the star AWPer here, and I think that's what they need out of him. I don't know if, Norway and Kenzie's days, the star riflers are maybe behind them. So I think you kind of look at Grix and say, yeah, he maybe has to be the star of this team, and I think he's proving that he can be.
Yeah, I mean, so far he's actually been excellent, hasn't he? When we look at kind of Grix, I mean, you wouldn't be getting these rumors about kind of replacement for Modesty at G2 kind of thing. Obviously, you know, huge shoes to fill, but his form has been incredible. It's him and Molodoi were the two rumored sort of players in a way, and yeah, so far so good. We do get an early tack time out here. I think this is the right time to call it though. You got 3 to use, and it has been a little awkward. You lose a force buy, and then you just lose control. So I think it's a good time. Just take a breather. Don't start to panic too much and have a bit of a conversation. What are we noticing? What are they trying to do? What's the pace they're trying to set? And is this something that we can sort of capitalize upon ourselves?
Yeah, and how do we want to approach this first gun round as well? How are we going to set ourselves up? What are we going to prioritize? Copenhagen Wolves seem like they've got a bit of a wind in their sails right now. And it's going to be a standard default coming through from them here to open up in the 5th round. If they can win this gun round, that then all of a sudden puts some early pressure onto ex-Aurora. I mean, being down 3-1 going into the first gun round, really not the end of the world. But when you lose that gun round, then, like I say, pressure starts to ramp up at that point. So let's see if Copenhagen Wolves can make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. You're able to take this first gun round. You put yourself in a massive position. So we'll see if they can do exactly that. For now, though, all quiet. I like this push as well from Norvi. It's a nice angle to play. I want to be a little closer, though, is the only issue. The flashbang comes round, and it completely doesn't catch Tapeware. I think he was just looking over to the left-hand side because he was clearing the left-hand side of kitchen as the flash plumes. So, or the flash pots, may I say, and yeah, it doesn't affect him. He can 180, find that fight, and yeah, good start, but a good response. Patsy will catch Matios. Bilani, he's pushed through the smoke. This is a ballsy play, but I don't think ex-Aurora are going to expect this.
I mean, it's the second time he's done it now, just getting into jungle fairly early on in the round here and getting in and amongst the CTs. But Kenzie, even though his teammates in market is still peering in that direction, I guess he's got nowhere else to look with Clack focused on A. And now they're going to go back to Catwalk. Patsy, the player who opened up the round for his team, will find another kill, but he's stuck between apartments and Catwalk right now. He's looking back towards Cats at the perfect time, and he's going to crouch into the gunfight. Very nicely done there from Patsy, and he could even finish off the job here as well.
Yeah, probably. Quest, no chance here for him. Barely alive, it has to be said, and time is ticking. They don't think he's going to survive, and he won't. Caught on the end there by Clack. So, nice bit of due diligence at the end. Just make sure he can't escape. Make sure there's nothing gained. And actually, if you break it down, it's a really nice round taken there by ex-Aurora, right? I think they've come back in towards the gun round and shown that, alright, sure, not the start to this map that we want, but you know, we've got plenty of ideas of our own, and we're not going to just sit here and dwell, right? We're going to put the pressure right back on, and that's good work. So, exactly sort of what we want to be seeing for ex-Aurora, keeping this map closing, you know, making sure that basically Copenhagen Wolves don't get an easy run in the early part of this. Don't allow them in towards this series. So, good work.
And they can really make sure that's the case if they can win this round here as well. That's brave from Clax, peeking on stairs down ramp. He's going to get the kill. It wasn't the cleanest either, but still comes away with an opening frag for his team and throws a bit of a spanner into the works here for Copenhagen Wolves as well, who are looking to just contact their way onto the A bomb site. That's no longer an option, though. So they're going to have to reassess. They still have heaps of utilities, so there are plenty options available. Could be the double pump. How do they approach this? Do they want to try and throw some misdirection into the mix? Perhaps maybe Matios dumping his util in towards B. Still plenty time here.
Yeah, no rush for now. Got a minute on the clock. Like you said, you know, plenty of time to work with here. So, the big question is, the bomb is just not committed at all. It looks like we're setting up for a mid-smoke here. Exactly that, over towards window. And that just gives you some decent choices. Where do we actually want to finish? They can split towards B if they really want to. I mean, Matios is, with his rotation back over, though, it makes you feel like they want to go towards A. And that's now what they're setting up for. Ramp. 2 players there, one being the bomb. Matios is actually just playing the fringe. The only issue is Kenzie's above this smoke that he's thrown, so Matios' angle is probably pretty rough. Yeah, works against him. Nice work from Kenzie. He jumps straight onto the stairs, though, and they just don't expect that push forward position. Clax will get one of his own. Down he falls in the trade. Grig's going to get tagged as well. It's carnage here, but a 1v2.
Oh, Bielani left alone. The problem is the clock. He starts to recover the bomb. He probably just has to go for the kills. That'd be his best option, but a nice combination there. Grex realizing that Norway's the one under pressure, so he just forces the issue and finishes off the job, and that's good composure from ex-Aurora. I think that Norway... Kenzie and Connector was just so tunnel visioned on what was going on at the bottom of Con. He wasn't actually sort of just keeping half his mind on what was going on A. Otherwise, he would have realized that Copenhagen Wolves would take full control, and he wouldn't have been able to just jump back through the smoke. But in the end, it all works out there. Trades successful for the CT side as they level up the scoreline. No bomb plant means Copenhagen Wolves are going to have to save, and well, they've now used... Oh, okay, this is their first time out, right. Aurora called it earlier. Copenhagen Wolves use their first now.
Yeah.
And the game is looking healthy for both these teams.
Yeah, exactly. I've got actually a bit of a game on our hands as well, so this starts to get, considerably spicier too, in terms of... I actually wonder what the response is going to be for Copenhagen Wolves. I actually wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of a quicker play out the gates. For Copenhagen Wolves, try and step up the tempo a little bit. These slow, well-worked rounds they are really good, right? And we can understand what they're trying to do here. But I think sometimes if you want to catch ex-Aurora off guard, you actually have to hit them with a bit of pace. Like what we saw in towards the Force Buy round, right? Tech 9s up in their face, and they really caught them off guard. I think that might be something that you sort of try and fall back into. We got a Galil, 3 Tech 9s, and a P250. So if I'm them, I'm trying to go quick once again. A couple of flashbangs and just throw them out towards the site, see what they can find.
Oh, Matios goes searching with the Galil. Unfortunately, he comes across the AK, so it's not really a level playing field, and that will prompt the hits into the safe bomb site. There's that Tech 9 you were talking about, but it's been shut down, and if you can always remove that initial prong, shut down that first Tech 9, you can breathe so much easier as the CT side, because you just keep the distance, and these rounds can just fall flat on their faces so quickly if you can kill that first entry player. It's if he finds the opening kill, that's when they start to get out of control.
For sure. Well, Maloney seen off as well at the end there. So, great work. No complaints at all. Exactly what we want to be seeing as well for this side. So, now a question of, can we get, once again, Copenhagen Wolves with the full buy coming back out? Can we start to get them feeling... a little bit more like themselves, right? It's been a little quiet for these few rounds. We want to actually see a bit of a competition here. Ex-Aurora starting to slowly but surely ramp up in towards this game.
Yeah.
4-3, and the big worry for me is I feel like if Ex-Aurora get anywhere in the region of sort of like 6 rounds, as much as that doesn't seem that bad, I actually think it's really good stability for them, and it might just be enough.
Yeah, I feel like this is a really important gun round. Oh my goodness, Kenzie, that's brave. Matios is a lot further forward than what he was ever expecting. He's not going to be punished, though. Lowers has been cleared. I really like the crosshair placements and the way that Matt keeps angles. He seems like one of those players who's always ready for a gunfight. And there we go. As he jumps up, I maybe put the wood on him a little bit, but it was never a favorable gunfight for him in the first place while jumping. And that's first blood for the CT side again.
Belani. Gonna try as well. Numbers back level, but a Molotov will meet him just outside of underpass. Smoke down towards window, one towards connector, and another on towards short. So a lot of Utah being used in towards mid. Unfortunately for Oboleni, he's sort of in this tough spot where he continues to get peppered, and he isn't keeping an eye on what Patsy was doing. Great work from him.
Alright, well, Quez, that sounded like a nice clean kill coming through from him. Just 1 or 2 bullets there to take down Clax. The problem is 30 seconds on the clock now for Copenhagen Wolves to attempt to get into the safe bomb site. There's 4 players here. Rotations have come through. They're on the scene. Patsy's gotten another. Oh my goodness. Copenhagen Wolves just being cleaned up as they try and get onto the bomb site. And Aurora are now really flexing their muscles.
Yeah, they are. They are. Absolute credit to them as well. They're looking really, really solid. I'm increasingly concerned now as well for Copenhagen Wolves, because now that's not only just a force buy that's fallen flat, we've also now seen a gun round really not find any form at all, right? We're trying to take a bit of mid control and then find a kill and react off the back of it. The only issue is you lose the number advantage more often than not. It's also then doubled down more often than not by ex-Aurora, and you're left with this game plan that's fallen apart so quickly.
Well, they haven't won a gun round yet,
yeah,
to be fair. They won the Force, won against the Force, and then won the anti-eco. Gun rounds is the bread and butter. That's where they need to show us that they have a little bit of grit here Tapeware, of course, the IGL. He's been the IGL of this team for a long time. And, you know, I was actually surprised to see that I believe Andu was on loan at Copenhagen
Yes, he
Wolves from
was.
Gamer Legion. And maybe they couldn't afford the buyout, but I thought Andu was great for Copenhagen Wolves. Like, I'm surprised that they didn't keep him on. And the only reason I could imagine is financial reasons.
Sure.
Because surely, I think he was actually the best player on the team.
I would actually be inclined to agree, right? I actually really liked Andu as a player. I think Andu is somebody who, you know, we see it happen occasionally where you're a young player who gets an opportunity in towards sort of tier 1 or tier 1.5, and it's just a little bit too early. And I think that was probably the case of Andu, unfortunately. You know, when he had his time on Gamer Legion, it was okay. It wasn't terrible by any means, but he just wasn't quite ready, wasn't quite there. But
Yeah.
I think with what he's doing now, where he's, you know, working through tier 2 and really starting to show his prowess and actually show that he is better than a lot of tier 2 as well, is exactly what you want of him, right? So it's just, yeah, like you said, it's just unfortunate that we didn't get to see him a bit longer on Copenhagen Wolves.
I reckon Andu is going to be one of those players in 2 years from now who could be pushing for a spot in like a tier 1.5 team. He's 20 years old, and he's shown a lot more than just glimpses. Like, I
Yeah,
wouldn't even
for
just
sure.
call him a prospect anymore. Anyway, important round here. Tech9 boosted up into snipers, but Grix is ready for it. He's been bossing middleman, been with the rifle for most of these rounds so far, but he's looking good. Kenzie and Tlax combining on this A-bomb side beautifully as well. Tapeway does find one. Unfortunately, he can't double down. Opportunity narrowly presented itself. Should be able to get a bomb plant out of this, though, so at least that's a bit of a financial bonus.
Yeah, that'll help. Bomb down, but it will not affect the round at all. Ite comes through, and a 6th for Aurora. It's got to be said, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. And for Aurora, they're already in such a comfortable spot. Now we might be able to get an AWP in play, though. And for Copenhagen Wolves,
Yes.
that potentially, I think, will help a hell of a lot. Just having that scope. And, you know, putting a bit of pressure on towards Grix as well. He's actually getting a lot of space, and it's been very easy for him so far. So I wouldn't mind seeing that for Copenhagen Wolves. As much as T-side AWPing can be a little difficult, I think it's better than nothing. They're going to go for their second tac pause, though. I also like this call. I think it's obviously not working. Whatever you spoke about in the first tac pause didn't come to fruition. Let's take another
Materialize,
breather.
yeah, exactly. All right, well, let's see what they're going to bring to the table, because this is the gun round where if you lose this, then it feels like the floodgates have started to open up. I mean, sure, 7-3 doesn't make for, like, devastating reading, but it's the fact that you lose 6 in a row and you haven't won a gun round on your T side yet. Grix has his AWP as well, first time he's got the sniper rifle in play. So he'll continue to be a menace in middle. And he's got Jaquinho to go up against. Now, Jaquinho's had some moments. I mean, he's probably been fairly underwhelming just in terms of his general level, but
Yeah.
he still does seem to like hit the good shots and show those signs occasionally.
Yeah.
Just maybe a bit more about consistency.
Yeah, well, we're going to need him here. He's out. We'll get out in towards mid. A huge amount spotted. We'll get caught by that flash as well. Another flash that comes through. So already a lot of good pressure being put on the table here. He's got the right idea. If you can creep up towards Delpan and just sit here, it's not the worst place in the world. Sit here, let the rifles push their way through mid, and just be a bit of a supporting element.
Yeah, sure. Just post up, give them something they can rely on, knowing for a fact that Catwalk's covered. They just have to focus snipers and connector. But to be fair, ex-Aurora haven't been like fighting for mid control from the start of these rounds most of the time. They actually tend to prioritize connector, keeping Grix in snipers,
Sure.
making sure they can't get that control, and then maybe collapsing later on in the round. As Copenhagen Wolves, they got 4 players here starting to make their way forward. They have got util to work with, time on their side as well. And they have got Quez outside of A ramp, so it looks like this could be an A split starting to come together.
I think you're right. Look why I spammed through that smoke as well. Nothing really found. 40 seconds, and this has been the thing, you know, Copenhagen Wolves are quite consistently leaving this to the last 30 seconds before a decision, and ex-Aurora, I got to give them kind of credit. They're not really faltering. They're keeping just enough utility. If they're required of a retake, they've got the util for it.
Oh no. Kenzie just smoked top con. 23 seconds on the
Freebie.
clock. Vileni has to try and walk back through the smoke. That's going to cost him his life. Kenzie just staying alive here is so frustrating. He's going to get a second, surely not a third. Kenzie, how on earth have you managed that without any support? He wants more, Neo. He wants a fourth. He's just Just chipping away at them here, doing a lot more than chipping. He's chunking them away, and that's a 7th.
He was running for 2 of those shots as well. Just running around that smoke. I love it, right? You know, that is the issue when you leave things so late. And just as I was saying, I was saying ex-Aurora, I feel like they're dealing with these late plays really well. There's the prime example. They hold utility right towards the end. It hits 30 seconds. Smoke dropped over towards connector. Their whole game plan immediately falls apart from one smoke. I said it a little bit earlier when just before kind of they went in towards their second sort of gun round, that I need to see a bit of pace out of Copenhagen Wolves. These slow rounds are not working. And ex-Aurora aren't feeling any pressure. You've got to change things up.
I feel like Copenhagen Wolves are also trying to play like a team who have been together for a while.
Yes.
Like, you know, these super in-depth rounds, meticulous, timing's really important. They haven't had the time to hash out these defaults and figure out all the little nuances of these defaults. Keep things simple. Pop flash over the top, smoke here, smoke there, play with some ferocity, trade each other out. So rely on the basics of Counter-Strike a bit more, because you can almost see how they're like having to discuss and look at each other like, what util do we have? Okay, do you know the smoke, bro? Yeah, like, okay, I can do that. You do this. These are not conversations you want to be having in the middle of an official.
No, I think it's spot on. This is where, you know, the pick of Mirage, it made sense for Copenhagen Wolves specifically because it is quite simple, but it's not making sense right now in the fact that, you know, obviously we know this is a really good map for ex-Aurora. It's been a strong part of their pool, and it's obviously showcasing itself quite specifically. Patsy swinging a fine tape where just in the open. Chiquinho will get one back, and so will Quez, but Kenzie then delivers to drop Chiquinho. So numbers kept here by ex-Aurora. There's a drop down of Kenzie being heard by Matios, but he is so low he can barely afford to take a fight here.
That's the problem. He's got the bomb and connector right now. 22 seconds on the clock. How does he actually get onto the sites and activate the C4? The longer he takes, the further Norway's going to get in CT. Matios is searching desperately, but Kenzie's not offering up anything. He's been so disciplined, and now he'll start to emerge. Matios is looking to get onto the site. Quez is to worry about connector and CT. Oh no, this is just all over the place for Copenhagen Wolves. There's no time left in the round. That's the job done. That's 8 on the board now for the CT side. And Neo,
off the time.
That was the exact same round from Copenhagen Wolves. A 4-1, identical utility from the opening. Quez at ramp, just the same, trying to go through connector. Like, there was no more innovation, no adjustments, no changes, and that's a concern.
Agreed. I think you're absolutely spot on. Another exact same round that completely falls flat, and it keeps, you know, making us sort of beg the question a little bit. When is this going to change? When are we going to try and do something just a little bit different here? It's obviously not working out, and I just want to see some pace. They try going towards mid. Matias going to get caught early, but a decent response on towards Grix.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen ex-Aurora actually offer up these early fights in middle. I think this is what Copenhagen Wolves have been looking for. And you'd imagine the CT side are just brimming with confidence right now and playing with maybe a little bit more ambition than they should be. Patsy's going to try and get out a ladder. The problem is that Tapeway's already gotten into the bomb site. Patsy seems to be somewhat cognizant of the fact that could be the case, but now they're just going to push through that smoke into the site itself. Patsy gets caught off guard, and well, Copenhagen Wolves going to get a vital 4th round to work with going into the second half. We're going to have to wait and see if that's enough.
Yeah.
If you wanna be my love, boy, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know. If you wanna be my love, baby, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know.
They told me go to what you love. I never knew what that was. But even
Hello, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Second half underway, and honestly, a very solid performance from ex-Aurora. They just aren't really having to break too much of a sweat, if I'm being completely honest. And on your opponent's map pick, it's not a bad spot to be in. You mentioned it in the break, Hayes, and I'm going to bring it up here on the broadcast. Uninspiring, I think, is a fantastic word to use for Copenhagen Wolves. A lot of the exact same stuff, and it wasn't working.
Yeah, just mid-take after mid-take after mid-take without much variation in terms of
Yep.
util or timing. Anyway, here we go. Second half well underway. Patsy trying to get into this BP bomb site. There are 3 players, though. Yeah, that's impossible. Just way much for him to try and deal with. Quez will double down with the Julies. And, well, it's looking like the perfect start to the second half here for Copenhagen Wolves. Exactly as was required of them. I feel like they had to win the pistol here if they were going to stand any chance of fighting back on their map pick. And it seems like that's locked in.
Yeah, exactly that.
Should be.
Yeah, 2v5. Surely we can't let this one slip, but, you know, I have seen some egregious rounds before, so I'm not going to completely count it out just yet. Griggs and Norvi having a look around, see what they can find. And again, not a huge amount on offer. It still should be a pretty simple round, but don't overthink things, I think, is the main advice you'd be given to Copenhagen Wolves here. 35 seconds, and we're going all the way back towards A, it seems, which, if they were to go the long way, that would be the right call. Mid, though, different story. There's a short player.
Oh, well, I was thinking maybe they could still even try and get a kill out of the round. Grix does have a P250. 20 seconds on the clock. This is as much of a formality as you get, I'd imagine. There we go. Just looking to try and spill some blood. Make this one interesting, or should I say entertaining. Not much interesting about this. 8 seconds on the clock. Into the blender they go. Hold on. All right. Knives are out. This is just madness right now on the B-bomb side. Bialani going to get an extra $1,500. You're never going to scoff at that. And Copenhagen Wolves do exactly as was required of them.
Yeah, exactly that. That's what we want to see. They needed to kickstart this half well, and they do. And now they've given themselves, you know, a bit of a chance and an opportunity to sort of get some level of a leg up in towards this game and maybe start to put a bit more pressure on. Obviously, it's a long road to recovery, but it's got to start with a pistol. The question is, and the real hope is that they don't get force sport back in response. That's how Copenhagen Wolves started. Got the force buy. It gave them 3 rounds in quick succession. If ex-Aurora do the same, that could be the beginning of the end.
Yeah, but it's a slightly less inspiring force buy without the bomb plant, so it is going to be more difficult. Just the one little upgraded pistol. Still a little bit of util to work with. Quez, that's brave from him on top of the ticket box there. It does get one, but it cost him his life, and this is now tough because Copenhagen Wolves aren't in a position to retake CT from CT. They're going to have to come through from connector. The bomb's planted for CT. There's a player in Palace. There's 3 CT. There's an extra rifle that's been picked up. Patsy has an M4 now with head armor. Is there a kit? There is. There's a kit, a couple smokes as well. This is very doable for Copenhagen Wolves, but they have to piece it together quickly. And that could be the problem here, considering their lack of time they've had to actually play together. Just trying to figure out how they're going to make the retake work. There's just one smoke that's completely locked them out the bomb side. Now they're going to start to charge their way forward. Norway first point of contact will go down. Kills breaking out left, right, and center. Blood being spilled. Diffuser's been tapped, but not stuck. And that's enough. Clax will even finish off with the kills.
That is so sweet from Clax at the end there. He does so well. Composed as well as two players sort of open up in front of him, but does really, really well. Ex-Aurora respond well with a force buy. We said that's the sort of worst possible thing that can happen here, and it does. And that's, of course, going to make things very, very difficult now going forward. We have to be worried about Copenhagen Wolves. Ex-Aurora are going to be the ones to call, an attack pause, and they want to just slow things down and probably half celebrate and half think how in God's name have we actually walked away with that round, but they'll take it all the same. Lead extended to 4 rounds. Of course, Copenhagen Wolves for them, they sort of have to force by them in that double eco situation, but they're not going to bring a lot to the table.
Yeah, I mean, we said how important it was for them to win the pistol, but losing the force buy straight afterwards is just devastating for their cause here on Mirage to try and fight back into the game, and they're going to put all their eggs into one basket with the force of their response. Yeah, just mirroring what we saw in the first half, like you referenced. If they lose a force buy, then they can almost just kiss their map away.
Yeah, it's
if
tough,
that's
man.
not the case already.
True. That's also maybe the caveat, is it already potentially gone? I mean, I'll have to see, but it's, a very difficult spot that you're in right now. Pushing. He spots the legs. It's not enough to get a kill, but good for information. Know that, to understand that Copenhagen Wolves are trying something here.
Well, let's see if that something is going to be enough. It does look like the CTs are pretty well set up to deal with what's coming their way. ex-Aurora are just going to group up and try and brute force their way into the same bomb site. They've got a couple smokes. One of them's been thrown into snipers. They could just smoke off stairs and jungle here as well. See what they're going to choose to do. Would just isolate Matios on the bomb site here and make his life very difficult. Going to tuck himself into the reverse firebox of the 5-7. He's got a big job to do. Fully committed to the bomb site right now. Even just one kill would be at least something to take away from this. But he's going to get cleared by Norway. Good awareness there from Norway. Just sweeping the angles as he makes his way forward. And I think that should just be enough to lock Copenhagen Wolves out the round. In fact, I reckon they should just commit to the save off the bat here. Don't even hang around.
Yeah, I actually think you're right. Is it worthwhile? I don't think so. It looks like they're going to give it a little go. And this could be dire. Take away the first to forge. Aquilio also as well. Kenzie is so crispy. Looking for more. Kenzie is making light work of this one. And they should have listened to you, Hayes, mate. They should have gone for the save. Because look what they've got left now. A 5-7, which might fall as well in the same vein as his teammates to the hands of Kenzie. A quad kill for him. And he makes it look so easy.
Yeah, I mean, winning the force buy is already unlikely on the CT side. If you end up in a situation where you've actually lost control of the bomb site and you're down 4v5, you're almost never going to be able to successfully retake that. Like, the chances are so slim.
Yeah.
The reason I say just commit to the save is because then you can carry over the upgraded pistols and armor into the next round. You save your money. You still have something to work with.
Agreed.
And then you have a chance in this round. More of a chance than what you would have if you actually went for the retake, if you get what I'm saying. So... yeah, I just think that's a trap that teams are lulled into way too often. Just not committing to the save soon enough. Just cutting your losses right there and then.
Yeah, it's tough. All 10-5, double digits now, of course. And, I mean, in this spot that you're in, it really is feeling like it's probably the beginning of the end. Molotov going to come down. Does it tick on towards Bernie? No, he avoids it. That's at least a small silver lining. But it's just the Zeus. It feels pretty unlikely anything will be found at this. They normally flash in towards this position too. So, should be the case. Have to see. Maybe. They might go for a dry contact. Zeus misses. That's unfortunate. You hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the only thing that we could have gotten excited about in the round here for Copenhagen Wolves, and we've been deprived. So that sucks. Have you been able to get a Zeus kill, let it recharge, and then get another kill with the same Zeus in the same round afterwards?
I actually haven't, no. But I gotta say,
Yeah, me
I
neither.
actually don't buy the Zeus really at all. I'm more of a knife person. Grix, by the way,
yeah.
that is absolutely disgusting from the youngster. This is why he's getting touted so much. That was naughty.
I mean, he just displays some great spray control, spray transfer, and a beautiful tap there to finish it off. And I know it's USPs without armor, not getting ahead of myself, but still looked super clean. But, yeah, I'm not a big Zeus user myself either. I just remember that they made that change, the adjustment to the Zeus, and I've never seen it happen where one player gets 2 kills with the same Zeus. So it's almost just like a bit of a nothing update in a way. I don't know.
As are most CS updates these days, it feels. Unless you like skins.
Yeah, fair enough, actually. Yeah, true.
Unless you're a skins
All right,
person,
here we go.
then you're thriving. This is a big round.
This is the gun
make or
round there,
break.
exactly. Yeah.
Basically, let's see. It is very much the sort of now or never. This round falls flat. That's it. No chance in hell. Tapeware in towards ladder. Got to do everything here. Taps away Norvi. Just one flashbang could be everything, but Jaquinho will catch him from a site.
Okay, well, that's the opening that they needed here. Problem is, the B-bomb site's in full control of this T side. Molly is going to isolate Bielani, forces him forward. He's also taking a tick. Patsy knows, and when he does go down, he was always going to go down. The fact that he gets a kill before he does is a pretty good return. There's no kits in play for the CT side. Limited utility as well, and oh my goodness, Kenzie is the snake in the grass that's just keeping Yakinio focused elsewhere. Grix is controlling the flank. He's 21-7 for God's sake. He is to double anybody on the opponent's side, or at least pretty much. Matios and Jaquinho looking to do the impossible here to deny ex-Aurora getting themselves up to map point, but it's not going to happen as Grix continues his tirade.
My God, Grix. He's looking so damn good. 22-7, and Copenhagen Wolves just cannot find a way to shut this guy down. And unfortunately, that should be it. Yes, we're going to get forced by as a last chance hurrah here for Copenhagen Wolves, but there's just been little to nothing on display, if we're being completely frank. And you know, that's all credit, has to be said, to just how good ex-Aurora are looking. Not pulling any punches, still showing their level and their ability, and they're becoming a very difficult side to play against. So, yeah, sick to see. It's all to 5. We've got a triple FAMAS MP9 and the auto shotgun for Jaquinho. It's funny to see, but it's not a funny time to be pulling it out.
Yeah. Less than ideal. A sign of the times, perhaps.
Yeah.
They've won 1 gun round here on the map so far. Just a single gun round was the last round of the first half. And even then, it was probably because ex-Aurora just overplaying their hand. But yeah, it's just been a pretty flat performance here from Copenhagen Wolves, unfortunately. Didn't expect a huge amount from them, considering that they have made multiple roster changes recently. So it's always going to be an uphill battle for them. And it's a game that carries a lot of weight for both these teams. You know, Copenhagen Wolves have already done well to get to this point of the competition. That has to be said. Ex-Aurora's sights would be set on a deeper run in terms of their goals and expectations. And I wasn't expecting this from the round. Okay, the FAMAS is just popping off.
All right, maybe something still here left in this game. Kenzie left all alone. It's pretty unlikely. A 1v4. He's not in a bad game, but this one really shouldn't find all too much favor. Sneak his way over towards CT. There's nobody in this direction, so he's going to get at least a lot of free sort of space for now, but what do you actually do here? Bomb should be unrecoverable, unless this is grossly misplayed. There should be no chance in hell for this one. Kenzie spots one, drops one. Spots a second as well. At least a bit of information. He just doesn't have the time, unfortunately. 15 seconds. A nade will come down to soften up Tapeware a little bit, but it shouldn't make too big of a difference. Down he goes in the end. The Copenhagen Wolves aren't dead just yet.
Well, let's see how far they can take this. Just try and save face a little bit. Show us what they're capable of. I mean, need some individuals to pop off. Bielani is someone who can have some really big rounds for this team. I remember seeing a lot of highlight plays from him in the games I've cast. seems to be a very strong rifler, just hasn't really been able to bring it together. We know that Matios is an exciting prospect as well, also just under-delivering here in this game. But they're playing against ex-Aurora, for God's sake, so it's always going to be tough, especially when Grix is popping off in this fashion. 3 kill death ratio and another opening kill. Norway posted, waiting on the fringe of the smoke. Oh, he just gets steamrolled by Jaquinho. That looks nice.
Yeah, not bad there. That's all. Matios. And that nade, nothing. He knows it's his lower player and he deals with him actually really well. Can't deal with the second, so leaves to Tapeware all alone here. Will spot Clax. Clax spots him out too, but I don't think it's going to make too big of a difference. 1 versus 2. Now for Tapeware. The smoke to try and get him out. A bit of a lurk smoke here as well. Molotov down, then Patty going to play all the way over towards ramp. Or on the angle. Went for the flick. Grix can't hit it. Waiting for the jump, and second time of asking, Grix delivers. 13-6. It's not a bad performance at all, is it? Just showing the class of ex-Aurora here.
Yeah, they were down 3-1 at one point, but they never looked back from there. Just dominated that CT side. Gun rounds look super convincing and then get the job done on the T side. Grix in particular with a fantastic performance there. But everybody else, when they were required, was more than up to the task, more than up to the challenge. So it was a well-rounded team performance, especially on that CT side there. Kenzie and Clax combined beautifully on the A-bomb side. Grix in middle does a great job. We had Norway just floating around, also getting good impact. So, yeah, really like what I see there from ex-Aurora, and looking like they're on course to get themselves that consolidation final.
Yeah, exactly that. Well, for now, we're going to throw this one to a little bit of a break. When we are back, it's map number 2. It's Nuke. Next up on the docket. Be sure to be there. We'll see you all soon.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, Faceit.
Giving up. I wish you wouldn't be so hard. 'Cause you're the one that gets slided. You say I don't make time for anyone. And you ask my mind is occupied. It's hard to vent. I understand. Have you ever lost someone? But know that there was more. I don't wanna be tied, hanging by your side. I don't wanna be tied, tethered to my pride. Hate to waste your time. Go and live your life. Safety nets are overrated. Yeah, if you make one, you will fall. Too much of a temptation. Yeah, there's a comfort in the crawl. Now I've been on my feet too long. I know I'm strong, just looking for some solid ground, so I can start to run. I don't wanna be
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, face it.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are back, ESL Challenger League in Europe. We are in the seeding for the playoffs currently, the in between the group stage and the playoffs, and we've made some good progress. We've made progress in the series as well. First map was Mirage, picked by Copenhagen Wolves, but dominated by ex-Aurora.
Yeah, they just made it look so easy, didn't they? And it was, honestly, all the credit has to be given to ex-Aurora. They didn't pull any punches. They didn't really, as well, break a sweat. They just had a lot of fun roaming around the map. Individual step up. Kenzie looked fantastic. Grix looked fantastic as well. And there was just nothing really on offer, unfortunately, for Copenhagen Wolves. We can give them the benefit of the doubt. This is a side going through changes, and they're going through the motions of trying to find themselves into a position of being kind of comfortable right now, but it's not there yet. Grix, his stats are absolutely fantastic. 25 and 8 with 6 assists is not bad at all. 146 ADR for an AWP is ridiculous.
That's the crazy number. And a 44% headshot ratio as well. So he's not even just like AWP abusing and just body shotting everybody. He's popping off with the rifle.
Yep.
Good impact with the pistol. We saw that clean tap with the AK as well. I mean, he just showed so many different positives in that previous map there. And now we go to ex-Aurora's map as well. So things are only going to get more difficult here for this Copenhagen Wolves team. At least they'll have, well, I say they'll have the advantage of starting on the CT side, but I don't even know if they're going to be able to contain this ex-Aurora team. They might be happy to start on the T side because they can still dictate the pace of the game, just play at their tempo, continue to just try and smother Copenhagen Wolves as well. So this could be tough for the CT side.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I gotta say, I'm very worried for Copenhagen Wolves. I just think, you know, for me, Mirage is the great litmus test. It's a map that everybody knows, everybody loves. If you're going to see a team show a bit of form and show a bit of prowess, it would be on a map like Mirage. Nuke is the complete opposite. It's arguably the hardest map to play in the pool, first and foremost. It's the one that requires the top level when it comes towards your sort of ability, your teamwork, your synergy, all of those buzzwords that we like to throw out there. But it's absolutely spot on. When you look at a map like Nuke, it is one of the hardest maps to play. Rotations can be quite difficult. Finding the right entries, finding the right space, all of which are super difficult to deal with. And I just don't know, if I'm being completely frank, whether Copenhagen Wolves have that unlocked yet. It might just be a little bit too early in the life cycle.
I mean, even with the previous team, if they still had Shane and Andu, they'd still be significant underdogs here.
Yes,
and now they've just made 2 roster changes and they're already the underdogs. So that only puts them in a more difficult spot here coming into the series. We saw them get romped on the first map as well. Now we're going to a map that's looked very good, very convincing for this Aurora team for a very long time. There's so much depth. And Nuke, speaking about depth, that's the word synonymous with Nuke, right? T side and CT side. You know, think about the CT side, how familiar you have to be with your teammates, the setups, the rotations, who's moving down to the lower bomb site, who's covering where, that floating player just having a read on his opponents. There's so much that you kind of want to have ironed out coming into Nuke as a team, and obviously they just haven't had the time. So even that in itself is going to cause issues for them.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on. We're hopefully getting on the way in towards this game in just a brief moment, and then we can get this show on the road. But basically, the picture that we're trying to paint here is that all expectations is that this is a pretty simple 2-0 for the ex-Aurora roster, and this is a side that, it's got to be said, sort of deserve it, right? What we've seen from them, they're looking fantastic. They're not feeling uncomfortable. They're not looking like they're really struggling in this game, and that's the real issue that I just worry. I just feel like, unfortunately, ex-Copenhagen Wolves, even if they were with that full 5, do they have actually just the raw firepower? If you break it down in individual players, head-to-heads, you know, something you sort of touched on, right? Even with, like, the Andy lineup, I don't know, right? Ex-Aurora are just so scary, and they've, at one point, like we said, have been one of, if not the best team in Tier 2. Granted, not at the moment, but, you know, they're trying to find their way back there.
And I think they will. Absolutely. I think they will. Hopefully we're going to find our way into this game soon enough, like you say.
Sure.
Maybe just ironing out 1 or 2 kinks before we actually jump into the action. Winner of this goes into the consolidation final, and they play the winner between Rush B and Spirit Academy. And Rush B actually come out on top of the first map between those two teams. It was their pick of Nuke, and they end up winning 13-9. Of course, with all the talk around Kyosuke at the moment, maybe some instability for Spirit Academy. We've seen Falcons and all the rumored roster changes, how that affect their performance now at PGL Bucharest, where they're just completely bombing out.
Yeah.
We saw G2, actually, even though, you know, Monacy almost guaranteed to leave the team, they still put up a pretty good performance reaching the playoffs there. So they're one team who haven't been too disturbed, I guess.
Yeah, they actually look very respectable, G2, somehow. But finally, we are live in this one, of course. We're underway in towards map number 2. And like we said, all expectations for us is that this should be ex-Aurora taking this map and ultimately the series, right? And they've just been in a different level of form. But we'll have to see. Copenhagen Wolves do at least get that favourable start on towards the CT side, and sometimes that can really help.
Let's see. Try and set the tone here. Open up with a pistol round win. Ex-Aurora, they're just setting up for a big burst into this A bomb site, but Copenhagen Wolves are pretty well set up to deal with it. A player Mini, a player on top of Hut with the Julies, and a player Heaven as well. So this A bomb site is heavily fortified as things stand. It's going to be simple. It's going to be a mini smoke, it's going to be a couple flashes, and it's just going to be brute force.
Yeah, I kind of love it, in all fairness. Let's see how they can deal with it. They're going to go for a high-pressure one. They're going to try and pop their way out, but it doesn't start well for them. There's quick responses, however, and a 2 versus 2. Make that 1 all down to Tateware, who gets clipped by Norby. He had a fantastic pistol round. 3 kills to his name. That is sumptuous.
I mean, that was looking so good initially. Both Matios and Jaquinho, 2 of the players in the A bomb site, find an opening pick, and it looks like ex-Aurora are even going to struggle to breach the bomb site itself. And then Norby just has this revitalization in the round. 3 brilliant kills coming through from him. I love that Grix gets 1, and he's like, yeah, I'm just going down the venue, mate.
See you later.
You good luck, you have fun. Yeah, I'm going to just secure the plants and maybe play out a 1v1, but not even necessary.
Yeah, I kind of respect it, because I think in a world where that could have been a little scrappy, that is definitely the right call. I'm going to make sure that this round has, you know, something behind it. We're not just relying off the back of can we hit the shots, but it wasn't needed in the end just because of how Chris Norby was. It's sick, you know, as this IGL, he still shows he's mechanically super inclined.
It's true. I've always really enjoyed him, like watching him play as an individual. Yeah. And I'm right there with you. I think it's the correct decision for Grix, whereas most people look at that and think, no, you got to stay with your teammate and try and trade him out. But in that instance, I think abandoning your teammate, guaranteeing the plants, and a strong post plant was certainly more valuable, as we do see them venturing into the vacant A bomb site. Copenhagen Wolves are going to swing back in with numbers. I kind of like that plan in the full eco. You don't see that all too often, just giving up A completely and then swinging with 3 or 4 players.
But it doesn't amount to all too much. Pretty simple stuff coming through and a nice 2-0 start. Of course, we're going to get these first investment of guns coming through. So this is a big sort of test now of what we're going to get, really, what sort of level we're looking at for this side. I still got to say I'm very worried, I think, if I'm being completely frank. I just think this is such a difficult map as a side that have probably had minimal amounts of practice, right? It really feels like one that is difficult to get as a formulated team, but we'll see.
Yeah, winning the gun round here would at least give them something to try and build off of. Losing it, though, against Galils, and you start to get very concerned very quickly.
Agreed.
Not just because it's 3-0 CT side Nuke, but because of what we saw preceding this on Mirage as well, and what we know about both these teams. So Copenhagen Wolves going to have to put up a display early on here. That's a lot of damage to Bielani. I think that's just through the squeaky smoke, man. He's just caught some stray bullets.
Yeah, you hate to see it, right? It's a rough way to start out a round as well. Not really actually gaining any information either. If you're at least fighting, you gain a bit of information, but you take some damage. That feels maybe worthwhile. This spot, not so much. Smoke down. Norvi. Looks like he'll be leading that push out. Or as I say that, he moves up towards top roof. So might be the Utah man.
Looks like it. I really like how ex-Aurora are just looking to keep things super simple on this T side, because they know if they can do the basics perfectly, that should just be enough to beat Copenhagen Wolves here. They're just going to test them on the, say, bomb side a couple times, and only if the CT side can stop them will they then revert to different strats. And here we go, the crunch onto the, say, bomb side. Very good kill from Kenzie at range. There's only one player left. He's on the bomb side, though. Maybe Quez can find a way. He's been great at anchoring this bomb site in some of his previous teams, but down to 7 health. He barely has an inch to maneuver. Kenzie knows he has to be on the side of the silo. He's patient, and he's successful.
Yeah, really well done as well. It was very scrappy, but the real unfortunate thing about that round is, sure, we get to see the individual moment from Quez. That's nice. The big hit, though, is just the fact that that is the gun round, right? That's the investment back in for Copenhagen Wolves, and it gets very immediately thrown back in your face. And now we once again look at a spot where ex-Aurora, they're up to 3. The 4th feels like it basically should be guaranteed. We got an MP9, a Mag 7, and a few upgraded pistols. It should be an easy round to overcome. And, you know, this is T-side Nuke. This is statistically the most CT-side map we got in the pool, right? And they're making light work out of the T-side so far. It's not a good look for Copenhagen Wolves.
And like I said, with very simple strats, most of the time it's just run down the clock, exec onto the A bomb side. They've just ended the previous 3 rounds, all 3 rounds are just going through Squeaky and Huts and maybe a player through Mini onto A. That's a nice kill, though. Right. I don't think Kenzie was expecting to lose his life out there. Nice shot from the Mag 7. Unfortunately, he can't recover the AK. That would certainly put a little bit of a sweetener on the deal, but some damage is nice. Upgraded pistols, armor. Not impossible to fathom a world where Copenhagen Wolves could win a broken buy like this. Oh man.
Still a little scrappy, though, isn't it? It just feels like a bit of bated breath here. Klax is holding to see whether anybody pushes out. Matios going to get caught there. I'm going to assume... Yeah, no head armor is my assumption. He went down very quickly.
Yeah, he didn't have,
Spray around that corner. Norvi can now upgrade to an AK if he wants. He's just looking for it. Teammates in the way. Now he gets it. 40 seconds, though, fellas. We've got to make a decision.
Back up to the A bomb site, that's the call here, but there's numbers towards A for Copenhagen Wolves. This is what they would have been hoping for. Player tucked in behind the box and 2 in heaven. There's no molly or smoke to actually lock these players out. Bielani does a significant amount of damage. Unfortunately, though, his teammates can't follow it up. Quez does chip away to find a kill. Economic damage is certainly something here. They continue to delay proceedings. That bomb plant still has to come through. Tapeway is going to wrap around Mini with the Mag 7, and, well, the bomb plant is found, and with that should be any threats of losing the round.
Yeah, you'd hope. Just a 5.7 and a Mag 7. Not the greatest at range, the both of them, if we're being completely frank as well. So, maybe a play for X's wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too likely. Norvi's already started to make his steps out. They've spotted out one as well, so down it goes Tapeway. The 5.7 will get its kill. Looking for a second. Not given the luxury. Patsy will trade. 4-0. It's made a little bit expensive. I think that you can take silver linings there of your Copenhagen Wolves. It's better than nothing, but it's still a pretty bad spot that they're in, right? You know, you're 4-0 down. You're back in towards the investment. If this gun round falls flat, honestly, as much as it might seem early to say, it genuinely could feel like the beginning of the end.
Yeah, and that economic damage only means anything if you can actually win a round afterwards. Yeah. Otherwise, it's academic. Let's see. They've got the AWP, they've got the M4s, they've got all the util. This is the round we have to see Copenhagen Wolves bring something to the table. Or posted up ramp. Matios is the one in garage, the least experienced player on the team, in a very important position. Haven't really seen much out of him in the series so far, but you couldn't say that you've seen much out of anybody on Copenhagen Wolves yet, so you can't just pin that on him.
It's been pretty non-existent from sort of everybody. Now is the time, though. We have to get going, guys. We have to prove that we've got some understanding here. Or is this ultimately just a fantastic punish pick? And you know, ex-Aurora obviously picking for themselves in a big way, but on the flip side, sort of saying, right, we know you guys aren't going to be ready for this. Grit's going to find one. A quick trade that comes through, though, from Matios. It's, you know, not the end of the world. Chiquinho, Ito comes down, and he's going to fall back over towards deep ramp here. So this top ramp control is very good, and they don't actually need to pressure Chiquinho at all.
Yeah, another big kill coming through, but there's a response at least, keeping the numbers level. And ex-Aurora, they are going to try and get back into the same bomb site. Oh, Tapeway decides to hang around as the smoke fades. He becomes exposed, and now it's just Bialani here behind the reactor in a very important position. He will get the first frag for free, and now he's going to try and dance around the silo. Does inflict a lot of damage to Norway, but still loses his life, and that means Jaquinho's in the 1 versus 2 with an AWP. Not really like damage means much at that point. He's just going to creep his way forward, scoped up, but time's not in his side without a kit, without utility. He's actually going to be catching these players with their backs turned. He spotted one. He doesn't realize the other one is right there as well.
Oh.
Norway, low health, will turn and burn to keep the flawless run alive.
My God. Little dicey, little shaky, has to be said, but we take him all the same. A round is a round, and that's all that matters, and we continue pulling further and further away. It is, yeah, it's now getting to this point where we're past the point of sort of lack of control and the worry and all these buzzwords that we like to pull out here. Now or never, right? We're going to call for this first attack timeout. And sure, for Copenhagen Wolves, I think it's actually the right time to have a bit of a conversation. But 5-0 down, dude. I mean, that on T side of Nuke, no less, that is a really dire spot to be in. And I don't know. I don't know about you, man, but I've just not seen anything really that makes me believe that Copenhagen Wolves have got really too much of a chance here. They do actually look quite lost.
Yeah, especially from what we've seen throughout the series so far and knowing what we know about the changes that they've made. The one thing I will say is Quez has always been very serviceable on this map in particular. You know, you go back to Tricked or Espionage after that, then Sashi. He's always been a strong Nuke player. It's always just been a good map for them in general as a team. I'm trying to remember, I don't know if he was the ramp player or if he's always been the A anchor. He has been an anchor player throughout most of his career, but you can obviously anchor either ramp or the A bomb site, so probably fairly comfortable on both. But yeah, that's pretty much the only positive I can think of right now. I mean, he had that one round where he got the multi on the bomb site, still wasn't enough. Another gun round here for the CT side, but things are getting out of control very early on.
Well. Let's see. Timeout's concluded, and now we get to hope and see if Copenhagen Wolves have got anything, right? What have these conversations amounted to, right? What have we maybe spotted or seen that we can kind of bring to the table? Of course, looking at actually what the coach Costa really do to alleviate the pressure. Taybwest pushed them towards lobby. I kind of love this, but while this would be a really good play against a default, they've gone for a very quick ramp take, and they've got so much space.
They have got a lot of space, and they're forcing the fights as well, but there's a response from Copenhagen Wolves. Players in control room. Quez doubles down again. Another multi-kill coming through from the Dane. Patsy. Oh my goodness, the timing. I don't know if it favors him or not there. It doesn't actually look like the player committed to the phase through the smoke. Klax is going back towards ramp. His timing's not going to be great either. Patsy gets one back. Actually takes down the player's single door. Oh, the problem is the bomber's ramp. I didn't even clock that. Okay. Well, that changes the entire dynamic here. Patsy has got some time on his side, but this should essentially be unwinnable.
Yeah, surely. Should be no chance in hell here. Gonna move back up towards the top site. Not a huge amount on display. It all goes eerily quiet. This fight could be everything, and Patsy will lose it out. Finally a round, dude. That, you know, we'll take whatever we can get, but Copenhagen Wolves, that was actually a pretty decent round as well. Decent response, even despite that quick ramp take, which I think can be really difficult to deal with. Because they didn't have players in that position, it sort of worked in their favor. They were very, very far back, playing over towards double door, radio, and the rest, and they were able to actually make ex-Aurora feel pretty uncomfortable. So good work from Copenhagen Wolves. Good mid-round adaptation, and I think now there's, you know, a chance, at the very least, where we can see them just build any sort of foundation in this first half.
Yeah, and they have to against this lack of an investment from ex-Aurora. A reflection of the damage that's been done. I'm right there with you. It was a decent display from the CT side in that previous round, just containing what was actually going on. keeping their composure, finding important trades. Good multi-kill from Quez as well. Couple things to get excited about there. And they could string consecutive rounds together. Already an opening kill, and they've done good damage to Patsy. Just a sprinkling of utility here for the T side to try and keep themselves in the round. There we go. Quez is towards ramp now, so maybe he is the ramp anchor here. That would make sense. I thought as much.
Oh, well. Quez just waiting. Unorthodox angle as well, but he sort of wants to let them out. He wants to bait them in towards the fight there. You got one playing towards Mustang just above Hot Tier. From Tapeware, it's a difficult angle to deal with. It requires utility and a couple of flashes from the roof to really make Tapeware feel uncomfortable. There's a bit of util starting to come through. Might just go dry here. They try and clear him dry, and they cannot. Tapeware for 3, and he makes it look really, really easy.
Yeah, that is incredible. Really good work there from Tapeware. Just looking down. One fight's offered up after the next. He racks up all the kills very convincingly. And Copenhagen Wolves, not only are they going to string consecutive rounds together here, it looks like they're going to do it flawlessly. A quad kill for the captain. And now they play against the Pistols, just the full eco. So a chance for them to build up some head steam.
Yeah, pretty decent work. We will take those every day of the week. There's something now on offer, and it's better than nothing. This is a side, of course, that were really not offering up anything at all. We've now got a couple of rounds to work with, and you'd hope a opportunity for a bit of consistency coming forward, right? Like we said, any foundations, man. Any thing to really give yourself a chance in towards the T side, because as well, you know, as much as we can touch on about how we don't know how prepared Copenhagen Wolves are for this map, it's actually going to be pretty indicative when we see them on the T side. That's a difficult side to kind of work together. Glock will find Jaquinia. That's kind of unfortunate. Does get a tag as well in towards Quez, but the bombs made it down. That's actually a win. That's all you're actually looking for ex-Aurora in that round. You will take it.
Oh, absolutely. Look at his toes. That's like post-mortem, just like tweaking out, just muscle spasms kind of thing. That would freak me out.
Slightly airy, yeah.
It's just like the beat of the drum still going on, man. A little bit of music playing off as he goes into the afterlife. I don't know. Anyway, 5-3, another gun round to follow. And this is the round for Copenhagen Wolves. This is the first test of like, okay, how legit is this fight back on the CT side?
Yes.
Is this just, you know, something in isolation, or are they really giving us something to get excited about?
It's a very legitimate question, right? Now we get the guns back in play. Ex-Aurora feels like they've taken their foot off the gas just a little bit. And that'll continue. Klaxon get caught early by the spam, but a good response from Kenzie.
Nice.
Just as that smoke was pluming and the molly behind it, so great work, great timing.
Yeah, that's why I love the swing there, the confidence, because he knows those smokes are about to bloom, and he wants to take the fight before they do. Gets a kill back for his team to cancel out that opening kill from Tapeware, who's actually just been pretty devastating these past few rounds. Or Grix, did he catch a shadow? Excuse me, Jaquinho onto Grix, if I'm not mistaken, and now they're going to start to close the gap. That may be a little bit overzealous there from Grix. At least the trade will come through, and that's a lot of real estate now afforded to this T side.
Yeah, you're very right. Tapeware catches Patsy. And pushing through the smoke, Norvi. That is audacious, and he gets away with it as well. Kinda ridiculous. Kenzie goes 1 for 1. And now we're in a 1 versus 1. Bomb down. Quez has got control of it too, so this is really difficult to deal with. We've got to try and win out that fight. A lot of damage dealt towards Quez. All he has to do is buy a bit of time. The nade banks over, and that'll catch him. Oh my, that is actually so well played from Norvi.
I mean, he straight up commits to the duel, man. It wasn't even the cleanest duel. He does a lot of damage, and then he's got the 50-50 decision. Does he throw the nade into the garage door? Does he throw it over the blue container? And he calls it perfectly. What a display from Norvi. From both IGLs on either end of the server, in fact, just matching each other right now.
What a game we're getting. We're actually being treated to something here. I feel like map number 1, as much as, you know, there was some rounds there, they never really felt like there was anything going. The second those early kind of 3 rounds were put kind of right back in Copenhagen Wolves' face, it was pretty one-sided. But this actually feels like there's a bit of a back and forth. And an opening kill again for Jaquinho. He'll take that. Klax will go down. So will Patsy. So Copenhagen Wolves are starting to find their form.
This is exactly what we were calling for, and this is exactly what they needed to do as well to prove that ex-Aurora can't just bully them with this fast A take. That they have what it takes to stave them off. Gonna really struggle to get a bomb plant out of this. Just a double peek coming through from Heaven. Grix is gonna get overwhelmed. Good teamwork, good composure, good combination. As Copenhagen Wolves make sure that ex-Aurora don't start to build off the back of that previous round win.
Honestly, 2-round game, but ex-Aurora is still getting to 6 rounds. I still think is actually really, really commendable. That's a very, very good position to be in. But the big thing is that there is still something here from Copenhagen Wolves. They're at least proving they've got an idea of sort of how to break them down a little bit or how to make them feel uncomfortable. And that makes you believe that they might have something up their sleeve on towards the T side. You know, a lot of this is very much me just trying to be a bit of a believer, but... Oh, okay, back to the game. Patsy's gonna get a Zeus, followed by an M4 and a tag. Nadal bank round, and that softens up Tapeware. Not enough for the kill, but that is a ridiculous start for him. Patsy gonna get another before he falls. He has done God's work in this round, but it's clacked in a 1 versus 2 with a Deagle.
Oh, man. It's so unfortunate that the nade doesn't finish off that 3rd kill for him. I thought that frag would have got the job done, but I mean, Klax has a chance here. Never should have been in with a chance in this round should ex-Aurora. And it's not like it's a great chance either. He's got time on his side. He's going searching, and he's smartly looking for this fight as well, but that catwalk is so difficult to do damage through. And now they know exactly where he is. Oh, man. Patsy got a kill with the Zeus, then the M4, and then the Glock. Like, that's going to be some sort of an accomplishment.
Absolutely ridiculous as well. How he gets away with that, I have no idea. But, yeah, it is, you know, an impossible situation. Of course, bomb goes down. And 1 versus 2, it's just the fact that, you know, Klax doesn't have armor. That's the bit that makes me feel like, you know, he would have to hit some absolutely stonking shots here to make something of this. Well, let's see.
Not impossible.
It's true. He's looking for the fight, so I kind of respect the way he's going about this. He has to. He can't afford to just sit by and wait. There's Utah to work with towards Copenhagen Wolves, so... Bomb already halfway ticked. Of course, they got a kit. Tap on towards it. Spot a pixel. Not enough, though. Quez will find him in the end. Defuse to come through. And that'll be a 5th on the board. So a 1-round game into the final round and a half.
Yeah, Quez coming alive. Tapeware continues to do damage as well. Good work from them. That got scary for a moment, though, off the back of Patsy's Zeus M4 Glock combo. But those are ultimately the only kills found by his team in the round. 5-6, I mean, I'm right there with you. 6 rounds and a half for ex-Aurora is really good on paper for the T side, but they were up like 5-0. So they probably feel like they should get a lead at the minimum here.
Yeah, they're probably actually not happy with the spot they're in, even though it's a good spot, right? You know, if you zoom out and, you know, if somebody wasn't watching the game and just saw half-time, 6 rounds on T side, or maybe more, you know... You're thinking, oh, that's great, right? But it's just, like you said, it's just the fact that they were at a really good spot and they've just let it slip a little bit, right? That just got to hurt the mental ever so slightly.
Yeah, exactly that. Good opening kill found in the round. That is going to be a response, though, coming through from Bialani, who wants to go for a bit more, but he's going to just narrowly miss out on the timing. Now, there hasn't been any immediate rotations down in towards Secret or the lower bomb site here from the CT side, so Patsy's going to be getting a lot of ground afforded to him. And if Klax can just keep Quez focused on ramp, that means he's not going to be able to rotate down either. Ex-Aurora venturing in towards B, realizing there's nobody home. It's not going to be much longer before they actually commit to the site itself. Quez commits to the fight, and he will come away with the kill. Now, indeed, he can rotate down.
Quez, low HP. Could be a little awkward molly at his feet. 4 versus 3. They can actually make this one work. I'm still a little bit concerned about this. Bomb goes down too, so now a real chance to work with. I'm kind of a believer. I sort of want to see Patsy pull off the 1v3.
Well, with the health the way it is right now, it certainly is plausible. Grix is the one who's left alone. Time ticking away. There are kits in play. There's utility as well. They just have no idea where he is. Quest should be the one who has to pay with his life to get the info. If he's going to commit, no, it's going to be the Orpite. Where to go first? Where's the trade? Should come through immediately. It hasn't. Grix has doubled down. He can't find the third. And with the kits in play, there's going to be more than enough time, but a great effort from Grix goes in vain.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. But at the end, it's 6-all. We're all tied square. We've made something of this at the very least, but we're going to have to wait and see how it continues after the break.
We're not the only ones. 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 We're not the only ones.
Days gone, I won't waste another one. Oh, that darkness, it won't set me back again. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Take me back to you.
We're not the only ones. 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 We're not the only. We're not the only ones. We're not the only ones.
Heads down, they will watch us shake the ground. Oh, this lightness, it will fill the air around. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Back to you.
We're not the only ones. We're not the only. We're not the only ones. 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 We're not the only ones.
Welcome back. We've actually got a bit of a game on our hands here. From a pretty lackluster map number 1, we've made something out of this first half. It was a really good start by ex-Aurora, and it all fell a little flat. So, arguably, Hayes, the wind is sort of in Copenhagen Wolves' sails right now.
Yeah, it is. They're the team with the momentum behind them coming into the second half. Can they ride that wave is the question and kick off with the pistol round win. Yakinio is the one who throws himself into ramp first. He is just the cannon fodder. He's going to spot the player falling back as well. He's going to continue to chase him. Yakinio is just jumping around corners and he's hitting heads as well. He's going to find a second kill. My God, what a performance. What a display here from Yakinio in this round.
The flying Glock kill to start it off as well. Brilliant work. Might be more here for him too. Jaquinho has taken this round by the scruff of its neck, and it's all down to Clax now in a 1v5. Of course, no chance in hell he's going to be winning this one, and Matt's just going to make sure of it. Jaquinho's had a masterclass. Take a bow, sunshine.
Yeah, that is a very good way for Copenhagen Wolves to start things off here in the second half. Couldn't have asked for more. I'm sure we'll see a force buy in response here. That's generally been the approach for both these teams if they lose that first half, or the T-side pistol. I guess it's losing the CT pistol for ex-Aurora. Force up here. See if they can answer back. But yeah, you're right, man. The wind is certainly in the sails of Copenhagen Wolves. It was 5-0 at one point. They've won 7 out of 8 rounds since then. And we have to see ex-Aurora start to find their form, find their mojo here once again.
Yeah, it really is the case that ex-Aurora have just fallen so flat here. There's so little on offer. Kenzie, it does spot him, doesn't really react, lets him down. Patsy was there to meet him, however. So, Tape Wet, maybe a little too hasty to fight there. Lose his life, open it. Goes the way of ex-Aurora, who have force bought in. It's a bold call to be force buying in the CT side. I'm not always a big fan of it, but I think ex-Aurora, they need to take a risk, because obviously it's been a rough run of rounds for a while now.
Well, they've actually got quite a lot going for them in this round here. They've gotten info in lobby. I think they had a little bit of a check in that direction. Patsy kind of cleared out secret briefly, but Copenhagen Wolves have decided against committing through ramp, and I'm glad that they've reassessed here. And Kenzie, he's making moves around the world as well. Copenhagen Wolves, they're going to keep things simple here, and it looks like they're just going to try and venture in towards, let's say, bomb site. Plax is the only man home. This is not a conventional position. Oh, Kenzie, don't pass up the free frag, mate. Oh, okay, not like this, Kenzie. You hate to see it. Oh, man, and Quez could get past him here as well. That's very unfortunate. Plax has been dealt with, so the A bomb site plant's going to come through soon enough, and man, the retake's just highly unlikely. Could probably just hope for some damage from here if you're the CT side.
Yeah, honestly, I would just be playing sort of proactive exits. I mean, Patsy isn't. He'll get Quez. Oh, what a shot onto Shaquinho. I take it all back. 2 versus 4. Ex-Aurora, go for it. Why not? You got nothing to lose it. Kenzie's fight baited out. Norvi trying to spam as well. He will also fall. Matios has gone massive here right at the end. And it's just Grix with this scout. He was behind the smoke too. Matios, he'll get caught. Grix did spot him too, but it won't make a difference. That round is completely saved by Matios. He's done so well there.
Yeah, that mini smoke also makes a big difference. It makes it so much more difficult for ex-Aurora to try and funnel their way into the A bomb site, and the 2 remaining players there for the T side play off of each other brilliantly. That got scary for a moment, but it all works out in the end there for Copenhagen Wolves. Kenzie, yeah, I mean, he's generally pretty surgical with the Desert Eagle, and yeah, unfortunately just doesn't really deliver the goods in that round there. Missed a couple of elementary shots. Passed up the kill there with the trigger discipline. That didn't work out, and well, not really many pitfalls in this round here. Copenhagen Wolves with a good chance to build their lead to 3.
Clax. Oh, nice shot. Oh, Clax. Hang on a second. That's too sumptuous. Oh, no. Kenzie gonna find 2 of his own as well. We're into a 1 versus 1. Quez is barely alive.
I mean, I think he gets both those kills on 13 health. Just desperately trying to recover the round right now. 1v1, he's playing against a USP, but surely even 1 bullet from the USP should be enough to finish off the job. Quez has now got his bearings. He's got the bomb in his back, and he's heading in towards this B bomb site. Norway's read into this, though. Smoke is on the bomb site itself, not the single door. Norway, does he try and open the door on a timing? That would obviously then give up his position. Quez has gone searching. He knows he's got the time to play with, so he's not just immediately committing. And oh, now he is. Oh. He's making noise. Norway's going to hear the steps. No. Quez has decided to turn the burners on, but Norway's missed the shot. And now it's a game of cat and mouse. Does he try and go up? Quez is committing to the plant. He gets off it in time, though. He's got an HE grenade to work with. That might kill Norway. It does. No way. That's how it ends.
What? That is one of the worst endings to a round. Just carnage. Cat and mouse, but nobody wanting to win. It's so weird. Shooting while on the ladder is a real interesting call there. You feel like you just commit to getting up there. But
surely, right?
Yeah,
especially when you see him committed to the plant.
Exactly. But he tried to play RNG and it worked against him. 9-6. A lead by Copenhagen Wolves we never expected.
Yeah, that is a brutal way for ex-Aurora to actually lose that eco, because they had done so much damage. Ramp, they get 1v3'd by Quez on 13 health. Disastrous, man. That should have been a massive reprieve. That should have been the let-off there for ex-Aurora. Now they have to do it on hard mode through virtue of these gun rounds. 2 players in mini. Kenzie and I think Norway is the other player there as well. Oh man, Matios is just primed and ready to swing right now, and he is going to commit to this fight. Brilliant first kill, he doubles down. That is explosive.
My God, Matios is really starting to have a lot of impact. He was a little quiet in towards that first half, but yeah, he's doing super, super well. Belaney's gun spotted out there, so actually good work by Patsy. It's 1-1 back, but this round still feels very difficult for ex-Aurora to convert. Their map pick of Nuke so far is not looking good.
Yeah, they just don't have the resources here in this round either. They've gone searching through lobby. That A bomb site is basically vacant. Grix will get one back from Squeaky Door, though. I don't know if you want to commit to this if you're Tapeware. Yeah, rather just smoke him off. Oh, man, second shot just narrowly misses through the vent, but Copenhagen Wolves are at least going to get themselves onto the say bomb site here. Nothing that the CT side can do about that. How does Patsy try and get himself into a position where he can affect the round here? Going to go back searching for Matios, and he's found him. Now he can actually get into heaven. This completely tips the scales in ex-Aurora's favor on the retake.
Patsy. Oh, he does spot him out, but he doesn't win out that fight first time of asking. That'll make things a lot harder. Grix will do it, though. Last man spotted in towards main. A 1 versus 2.
Not again.
Still an AWP in play, though, and that worries me. AWP on a retake is always very difficult to deal with. It's just not planted for him. And Grix will see off the kill. Ex-Aurora survive a bit of a scare there.
Oh, a bit of a scare. That was very scary, especially because they didn't have the kit there. I was super nervous. Quez just 1v3'd them in the round before that, and I thought he might do it again. But Grix, very reliable. What a big round from him, right? Because he gets the first kill from Squeaky posted on Mini. And then afterwards, when Patsy comes through from heaven, he forces Tapeware off of Hut. He drops down into Grix's scope. Just great awareness there. Grix gets that kill. And then he's able to hold the line. Because let's say Quez does swing and kill Grix there. It's a 10-second defuse. He would have had more than enough time to run and kill the diffuser. So just huge impact out of Grix, as we've clearly come to expect.
It's a 2-round game. And it is good that we're getting a game, honestly. This has been a really, really cool map of Counter-Strike so far. Especially comparatively. Mirage, if we're being completely blunt, it was pretty boring, right? There was not a huge amount on offer. This is actually looking pretty sick now. We have a full buy, but it's full's a loose term towards Copenhagen Wolves. It's a double Galil, 1 AK, Mac 10 and a Tech 9. It's workable. It's just, it will require a little bit of an unorthodox round here. Maybe a quicker play, you know, a little bit of a pop towards the top
Looks
side.
like that's what they're going to go for. Yeah, problem is no flashes, no mollies to force Clax off of the roof right now, but the Mac 10 maybe can close the gap. It's going to be a good little bit of impact here from Clax finding both those kills. Third is going to be denied, but that's okay because the cavalry's arrived. And I was just about to make the point that we're going to need an improvement in performance here from Clax if ex-Aurora are going to win, because he plays a very important role here on the CT side. He's played both ramp and A anchor before. We find him on top of Hut in that round. We'll have to see in the gun round where he's going to be playing. I think he's the ramp player. That may have changed though, but regardless, they're going to need him to just tighten up his performance a bit, and now a great chance for the CT side to level up the scoreline.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty sick spot that we're in. Of course, what should be a completely non-existent round here from Copenhagen Wolves.
Yeah.
Literally only the one upgraded pistol, so should have no chance. And, well, Kenzie and Grix going to make sure that is the case. MP9 swinging in. Money to be made for Norvi as he drops the bomb too. Pretty simple stuff. And just trying to close. Tapeware is here. He's going to be punished, but not before he gets a kill of his own. A consolation, but you take him all the same.
Okay, well, Copenhagen Wolves, they were down 5-0 at one point. They then got themselves up to 9-6, so they won 9 out of 10 rounds.
Oh, yeah.
However, ex-Aurora are breathing down their necks once again. In fact, they're now neck and neck with each other. And this gun round is for the lead. Problem for Copenhagen Wolves is they got no residual cash if they lose this round. So then it gets very concerning. So it kind of feels like this is a must-win for them.
I think you're right. Let's see. Molly down towards top up, but of course that standing molly there gets thrown. It always doesn't find that close corner. Normally, if you throw that molly and you're really committing with it, you want to be swinging off the back of it. Talking of a swing, Patsy going to get caught off guard by one. That is very quick.
Yeah, big wide step out there from Bielani as he emerges through the smoke, and immediately off the back of that, they just surge into this B bomb site. I think ex-Aurora may just be calling it a day here. I don't think they have any intention to retake, do they? Maybe they do. Start to shift their pieces down here as the bomb plant gets committed to, so they want to have a crack at this. And I mean, I guess they've got money, so they can kind of feel this one out and see if they can find perhaps a kill to motivate them to fully commit.
Let's see, dude. It is feeling like a bit of a big arse. Kenzie is at the back of the pack here. Norvi going to be sent out through the smoke. One player on towards top site, one towards close rafters, one in this smoke. If Norvi had just shot there, he would have caught Bialani, but in the end, they are doing, like you said, okay, hang on a moment, there's no way they've got time, they don't.
No.
Okay,
no.
they don't. So they actually will go down with the ship
now.
here. Yeah, that's going to hurt a little bit. I like the idea of it was just a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I think that Clack should have just got both their kills and accepted the round was over. There was certainly never going to be any time to defuse, and he kind of draws his almost like baits his teammate back in off the back of those kills to maybe try and go for a cheeky defuse, but it doesn't work out. 10-9. Copenhagen Wolves win that key gun round, regain the lead, but it certainly doesn't really improve their financial position. However, now it's ex-Aurora with their backs against the wall. Now it's almost like a must-win round for them. If they lose this, 11-9, no money. 12-9 before they can invest again. So this game's on a knife's edge right now.
It is. This is a somewhat dicey spot that we're in, that is for sure. Still a one-round game. But I think, obviously, the big thing being that when you look towards Copenhagen Wolves, they don't have a super fleshed-out long-term econ. Even those couple of kills towards the end actually do have a pretty big knock-on effect. Tape Wedge, Kinio, Quez all low on money, but Grix up close hitting the shot. That's pretty smart to know that that's a possibility.
I mean, that's incredible awareness.
Yeah.
I thought he was just dead to right every day of the week. Bialani's probably thinking that as well. So just really good awareness there from Grix. And look at this for Copenhagen Wolves. All 4 of their remaining players are just grouped up outside. Only Jaquinho's been spotted, so it's not like the jig is up here. But it's certainly not an orthodox position. Like, how do they actually get into a bomb site successfully from here?
Pretty great question. Norvi. Oh, he quick switched to his right-hand side. That'll cost him his life. And down goes Patsy 2 into 2 versus 3. Tapeware's being fed a few kills here.
They don't expect Kenzie as well, though. That's the difference maker. Tapeware does silently make his way down the ladder, though. He's got the bomb in his back, but he can't afford to take too much time to actually find Kenzie. And there we go. Frag, it comes through. Probably just make his way down ramp on Zubi here, I'd imagine, right? Tapeware, no. He's going to go back up the ladder. In the meantime, Grix has gone down the vent, but it's okay, because Tlax is tracking and tracing. He's in a very good position. He's going to hear the drop down here as well. Tapeware will at least get a bomb plant at the bare minimum, but surely he's not going to be expecting somebody coming through from heaven just yet, right? That's where he's just come from, and there we go. Clax will finish it off the job and level up the scoreline again.
Yeah, great work. Great work indeed. 10-all now as well, and this is... yeah, really a match that's starting to deliver here. Again, you know, we sort of saw how this half started, and it felt like maybe ex-Aurora were kind of in a spot where they were finding a lot more of the form, and that is the case, right? There's still Aura side, I think I've got the bulk of the momentum right now, but there's a few moments here and there where Copenhagen Wolves are still showing they've got maybe just enough to push this towards a third, and of course, if it does go towards Anubis, it does actually really spice up this series. That's the only map in the series that is statistically favoured over towards Copenhagen Wolves, or at least it historically has been. Tapeware going out in front of the molly. He gets so close to killing Kenzie. He actually, I think if he would have continued tapping away, he probably would have got him. It feels like he just stops there. We're going to try and bound through the smoke. It doesn't go well. Grix is here. Patsy, one of his own. Grix then going to get caught by the Deagle as Mathios gets a double.
And Kenzie's low, remember, and there's plenty of time. Weapons recovered, an AWP and an M4. This has been spiced up all of a sudden, because this is even just economic damage at the bare minimum, and when the game is as tight as this, economic damage can make a big difference. You win the gun round afterwards, all of a sudden ex-Aurora doesn't have money, compared to if they had won this round cleanly, then they would have. So perhaps that could be a difference maker. Copenhagen Wolves, they just posted up after finding that initial impact, waiting to see if there's going to be a response here from the CT side. Waiting to see if there's going to be any further fights offered up to them. But for the time being, CT side, happy to just lock them in. Yeah. One player on the B side, one watching Hell, one watching Lobby. They've got all their bases covered.
Yeah, it's true. The only thing is, I actually worries me a little bit that they are isolated, right? There's no ability to trade. There's kind of no spot
true,
here
yeah.
where you can keep the numbers advantage, really, unless Copenhagen Wolves struggle in the fight. Molly will come down. Kenzie cannot afford to stick around for that. Of course, him being so low. It's Dicey! Oh,
no.
that's not a good place to
Oh, my
plant.
God.
Why are we planting right in front of double doors? Yikes. Quez. Single door is open, but Kenzie snuck his way out. This is so smart, and a missed shot that comes through. Kenzie has done God's work in that round.
Yeah, just very intelligent from him. I mean, first of all, the little burst through the smoke to deny the first plant was really nice. And then, like you say, the way he gets out the double doors completely undetected. Probably even told his teammate single door not to swing because he knows he's guaranteed to get the kill. And that's going to be ex-Aurora regaining the lead. I mean, they do suffer some economic damage there. There's something to take away from the round there for Copenhagen Wolves. But if they lose this, then it's going to be really tough to try and force it into overtime from there. So pretty much everything hinging on this round right now for the underdogs. Or the underwolves.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Wolves, did you know today or yesterday,
I heard.
Yeah, the dire wolf is back after I don't know how long it was, but it's now not extinct. Kind of based.
Yeah, through DNA, basically. They've just been able to now make it in the lab. I don't know how much I buy it now. I'm generally quite a skeptic.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how many different combinations of genes and DNA do you have to run through to bring a direwolf back into existence?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not smart
It would be
enough
cool,
to know.
though. Yeah, you and me both. I mean, if we can do direwolves, I guess we can do dinosaurs, right?
Bring them back. Let's see what happens.
Why? Let's just spice things up.
Yeah.
It's been... we've been trending downwards since Harambe was killed. We
Yeah.
need something to get excited about as the world again.
Yeah, economy's in the mud. I think dinosaurs might bring it back as a tourist attraction. So,
Would they get tariffs put on them, Neo?
oh, 100%.
Would we
100%.
tariff the dinosaurs?
Yeah, they're getting tariffed. That is for damn sure. Grix
Okay.
tariffs Mulaney with his life as he goes down, but tunnel visioned in, Jaquinho gets given a freebie. He's creeping around this corner. This should favour Jaquinho. Maybe not so much. This one, though, Norvi gets two quickly. Oh, and another as well. Norvi does so well. That is so damn smart. And that gives ex-Aurora map and series point.
I don't even think they knew for a fact that Tapeware was in secret there. I think that's just the game sense for Norway. And he was fighting with one player. He then all of a sudden has to transfer, kill Yaquinho, then finish off the fight on the first player he was shooting. And he just picks up the AWP nonchalantly, posts on secret and finishes off the job. Norvi just swings a 2v3, a bleak 2v3 for his team into a round win in a matter of moments.
Well. 12-10. Copenhagen Wolves, they were 9-6 up at one point.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, they've let things slip like this. It is crazy to see. And the buy's not exactly bountiful in a way. We've got a triple Galil, double AK, but they've got no utility. They've got to take raw fights here, and, well, not going well. Shut down on the A site immediately. Ex-Aurora take the series 2-0. It's a much better map number 2 from Copenhagen Wolves, but it's not good enough.
Talk about ending in the blink of an eye there. There was actually only one player on the A-bomb side itself. There was some rotations that came through thick and fast, but that was a brutal way to end the map. And yeah, they just kind of feel like they ran out of steam. Again, it was the same problem. It was the gun rounds that betray them on the T side. We saw them struggle heavily with their gun rounds on the T side of Mirage, and that was certainly a glaring issue here on Nuke as well. They did have better ideas, though. They were way more inspiring on the T side. They were certainly getting into the rounds more. It was sort of the mid-rounding and the closing out of the rounds maybe where they struggled a bit more. So at least they gave us something to get excited about. And it was also good to see ex-Aurora being tested the way they were here on Nuke and still be able to bring it together and get the job done 2-0.
Yeah, exactly that. I think for ex-Aurora, that's sort of real proving grounds, not only to themselves, but, to potential orgs, if we're being completely frank, that this side are still worth picking up and they've still got real good tricks up their sleeve. So really well done to them. Of course, they'll be taking on the loser of Spirit Academy versus Rush B, which is still going on. So if you want to go check out the A stream, that game is still on. Rush B took map number 1, but it's currently 8-7, if I'm right in saying. Over towards 10-7 now, apparently. So I think my HTV is still a little bit delayed, but even still, that game is worth going to check out. That one's still going. Go and check out the A stream. But from myself, Neokai, and Hayes, we are done here for the B stream. Thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Until next time we see you, take care.